Welcome back to Radically Rational Radio. We're all born with a different hand. Some of us a royal flush, others a 2-7 offsuit. Simple fact is, no matter where you're born, you're expected to be better. And if you are born with greatness, doing anything less than that is just a complete waste. Believing that you were born with privilege is the most dangerous thing, because you will squander it. You will have not earned it. You will have not worked for it. And we seem to have forgotten this. We used to teach our children one of the most important things was contributing more than they took away. And over the generations, we've become even more self-centered, and we've just forgotten that, to the point where our politicians' kids live like kings and not like public servants. In this episode, we talk about how John Adams reminds us how we should think. Let's jump into it.
Well, you come into life with advantages that will disgrace you if your success is mediocre. That was the warning issued by founding father John Adams, our nation's first vice president and second president, to his eldest son, John Quincy Adams. So get this, folks. Afraid his son would start to believe that simply being the son of America's vice president was some kind of personal achievement, John Adams wrote his oldest child a letter as a reminder that the bar was higher for him, not lower, because the debt that the Adams family owed our fledgling nation was so great. You come into life with advantages that will disgrace you if your success is mediocre. Now, John Quincy Adams, he got the message. He would go on to serve as Secretary of State and would eventually become this nation's 6th president. It's a pretty stark contrast when you compare that story to the current father-son duo hanging out over there at the People's House on Pennsylvania Avenue down in D.C. A White House with alleged corruption one day and cocaine the next, with confusion everywhere in between. And I bring it up because while John Adams famously died on the birthday of the nation he helped bring into existence on July 4th, 1826, the challenge he issued to his son is one we must all accept if we want the dream of 1776 to endure. You see, absent the grace of our Creator, if you are fortunate enough to call the United States of America home, you have already been granted the greatest advantage in the history of the world. And the only thing more tragic than the death of our American dream would be part of the generation responsible for killing it. So let us rediscover that 1776 mindset, not just the pros, but the vision to recognize the dangers growing in our midst. When in the course of human events we find a president who reeks of complicity because the stench of his son's corruption has begun to consume his presidency and the country, we must declare anew our commitment to leadership with a servant's heart. When in the course of human events we witness mothers coming together in defense of their children's education only to be labeled a hate group, or fathers who show up at the local PTA meeting only to be placed on a terrorist watch list by their own government, we must declare anew that the pursuit of happiness will never be deferred by those who seek to undermine the children who give life purpose or the liberties that make that purpose possible. When in the course of human events we witness a government so obsessed with pressuring tech companies to allow them to spy on you without a warrant, they fail to notice that the Chinese Communist Party has built secret police stations on U.S. soil to conduct illegal surveillance. Well, we must certainly declare anew that in this age we shall not sacrifice freedom for security. Not one more day, nor one more hour. This is a president that created a border crisis, told us it was a figment of our imagination, and now spends more money each day housing migrants than he has to help Americans in places like East Palestine. All while it is clear to anyone paying attention with any integrity that his son has used this do-nothing presidency to sell out the nation that we love for cold, hard cash. So yes, if it feels like 1776, it's because, as Ronald Reagan admonished us, freedom is not free. It is not passed down in the bloodstream. We must surely fight for it. You come into life with advantages that will disgrace you if your success is mediocre. It is time to heed the message. It is time for those of us who love freedom to answer the call of our nation for liberty.
You cannot have safety and freedom at the same time. Freedom implies the ability to take risks with your own life and body. We have to fight for it. Freedom is not the right to hurt someone. Freedom is not the right to take someone's property. Freedom is not the right to fraudulently lie to someone to take what they have. Freedom is the ability to buy. It's the freedom to sell. It's the freedom to succeed. It's the freedom to fail. And now we have built a country where one side believes that they're being put down and unacknowledged, and the other side desperately wants to stop being controlled by authoritarianism. You can claim whatever you want. You just can't force it on other people. And you must know that we are all struggling. It's hard for all of us. We need to focus on ourselves, focus on our family, and not focus on making other people believe something else about ourselves. It's un-American. I hope you learned something. I'm Tristan with Radically Rational Radio. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay resilient.